Recording in progress. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows how to edit. I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as we can. As everybody saw, I have a positive COVID test.
Oh no.
And two of my friends who were over here quite consistently helping. Rue is still in ICU.
Oh no.
And they're saying it's going to be at minimum 2 more weeks. They have her in an induced a coma. Andy, her wife, is also COVID positive. Mostly she says it feels like she got a really bad cold.
Yeah.
And she's been sleeping a lot. All of their plans of moving out here have pretty much been squashed because their down payment for the property now has to go towards medical expenses.
Yeah. That's rough.
We're hoping to keep me out of the hospital right now. I just got body aches and fatigue, and my lungs are bothering me. My blood oxygen has been super low. It's like somebody's checking. So we're gonna just keep going the best that we can. As y'all can see, I'm set up on the bed. I'm not exactly sitting straight, but that's okay. I've got a laptop, and it's doing okay. Christopher will be home from Corpus Christi tomorrow. So I'm not gonna be home alone or anything. We'll be doing okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the meeting so that we can get through it real quick. As you can see, this is our winning banner from our polls that we put out there. Probably next month I will order it so that it can get hung up on Palmarosa RV fence post as soon as possible, and start getting the information out there. We do have 4 vendors who have applied. 2 of them are waiting on their state sales tax ID, and then we can invoice them. We have 2 Texas gals is returning, and we've got one that's a woodworker that they weren't able to make run fair, that we give them whenever that happens, because it's a family emergency or medical emergency or whatever. We allow our vendor to participate at our next event, essentially is already paid, regardless if the price goes up on the vending spots. So that's kind of where we're at on that. I am going to get through what we have here, maybe if things will cooperate. All right, our agenda. We're going to quickly go over the Guilds of Requiem reports and project reports. We'll go through Space Station Requiem, then the Steampunk unit, and then we will be on to BantuckyCon, which I'm trying to make sure that is our bulk of our meeting tonight, discussing BantuckyCon. We're certainly excited that it's going to be happening October 22nd. Vending hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will have access to the property the Friday before for setting up. So right now we're in the recruit stage. Quick reminders to project leaders, guild masters, and board members. We do have monthly reporting now. Project leaders, your report is due by the 5th of the month. So that way the guild masters can have their report in by the 10th of the month. And at the end of every quarter, the board members need to have their report in by the 15th of the month. Social media reminders, please post at least once a week on any related pages that you are an admin on. So I'm going to pick on Mikey here. Mikey is the Crafters Guild Master, but she also is the project leader for the Master Procrastinators of Requiem. And so she's got, she's going to have to do a report for herself on the project. Then she's going to have to do a report for the Guild Masters. And then come the end of the quarter, she's going to have to do a report for the board members. On the Crafters Guild page, she's going to post at least once per week that is original content. You are welcome to share other information. Just try to remember that for every 3 posts that you share in, from somewhere that is not a Guilds of Requiem page. Those don't count against that, or don't count towards that, however you want to think about it. So you share in 3 posts, make sure you're making 1 original content post. Same way with groups, we're asking that you post at least 2 original contents each week. So then that would be at least 6 items that you can share in. The one group that is not, that doesn't follow those rules is the World Super Group. And that's just mostly in there so that we can have fun. There is no reporting for the World Super Group, which Christopher was very, very happy to find out, because I did put the World Super Group under resources. Yeah, it's great being voluntold. And then we asked that the other social media reminders to check our guild groups that are just for members, to see if there's any relevant information, any that requires a response or requires a vote. I am trying to get more people involved with my daily thought process, so that when I no longer have a daily thought process, people can remind me what I need to do. We're going to go through the guilds alphabetically. I do not, don't want to play. That was our way of avoiding playing favorites, was to just go alphabetically. And I'm going to go through them really, really quick. And what we are going to do is, once I have the websites made, monthly reporting will show up on that guild's website. So these are our 7 basic guilds. We have our Agrarian, Crafters, Guardians, Merchants, Resources, Scholar, and Technician. Not formally a guild, but is of the guild level, is Requiem International. I don't remember if I put a deal in there. A monthly report for the Agrarian Guild. We saw an increase in participation in the Requiem Home, Hearth, and Heart group on Facebook, so I really, really appreciate that. We do have some projects that are under development that the board has approved. One of them is an Agrarian Apprenticeship program. That's basically anybody who wants to learn about gardening, homesteading, animal husbandry, whatever types of things it is that would fall under the, as a homesteader, prepper, or just want to know more. We're going to try working on that. On the business adventure side, so that we are self-supporting, is going to be the aquaponics services of Requiem. That is essentially a design, build, and maintenance. So the really good thing about that is we're going to have income coming in for designing it. We'll have income coming in for building it. And then we have income coming in for maintenance. So they'll have an option to either attend one of our courses so that they can maintain their system on their own, or we can come out 1, 3, or 6 months, every 6 months, to check on their system and see how it's doing. Our longtime group of Homesteaders and Preppers Guild, which is also AKA known as Requiem Home, Hearth, and Heart on Facebook group, is celebrating its 2018, so 4th birthday on September 1st. Requiem's Gardens CSA, Mikey, you were talking about the abbreviation for that. It's CSA. So, I mean, if you want to have that document open and, add in anything that I missed, I believe I tried to go in here and put in all the acronyms, because, it's not so much that we're lazy, it's just we have a lot to say and we want to try to say it as quickly as we can. So everywhere that you see an asterisk next to something going on and forward is basically stating their project under development. Crafters Guild. I've been doing more posting in the actual Craftinators group. I've seen some posting in the Bards group. Gamers Guild, I didn't really see anything. We did have quite a few postings that we shared to the Crafters Guild page. Formally, we're still going to call it Crafters Guilds for us, but formally it has to be the Crafters and Artists Guild, because there is a Crafters Guild already in Texas. So we can't use that name. Even if we put of Requiem, we can't still I got told, no, we can't use that name, but we can use Crafters and Artists Guild of Requiem. That is the website I'm going to work on templating. So it's ready for content for anybody who's a moderator on it. Guardians Guild, really, that's kind of one of our quiet ones. We're discussing having the Service and Working Dogs Handlers Guild to meet on the third Saturday markets at Pomarosa. So that will be a, where is it? Mikey, somebody messaged Space Station Requiem.
Yeah, I answered, but apparently the Zoom ID link is light gray for them. They can't get into the meeting.
They have to have do they have a Zoom? Are they logged into Zoom?
Oh, let me ask.
Yeah, that is one of our safety precautions, since
I forgot about that.
Ironically, we're in the Guardians Guild, so a great time to mention that is one of our safety precautions, that while yes, we do have our meetings public, we want to make sure that not just anybody is joining in. They have to have a Zoom account. Once they log into Zoom, then they can access the meeting.
Okay.
So they might not recognize her immediately to come in today if she does not already have a Zoom account.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I knew I had to log in, but I didn't even think about that. So
yeah. Haven of Requiem Guardians. Haven of Requiem is being used somewhere. Washington, state of Washington has a group called Haven of Requiem.
What do they do?
I have no idea. No, but there's been no activity on their website or social media accounts for 4 years.
Are they an organization or are they just a website?
No, they're an organization of some sort, or they were. I got told that we would have to wait the 10 years from the last time they were
So they
active.
just made a name and a website and don't do nothing?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a website out there, and they're registered with the state of Washington as a nonprofit. I honestly don't know what it is that they do. Nobody's responded to any emails. Half of the emails bounced back, but you know, best way to keep it safe than sorry is let's go ahead and add Guardians in there. That way we know we have it and we don't have to worry about changing it. You know, Service and Working Dog Handlers Guild. Yes, we call it Service Dog Handlers Guild. The working part is brand new to it. I don't feel like changing all of our logos and icons and everything else to get caught up with that. Merchants Guild, we are seeing a, yes, Miss Jennifer.
Just a quick question. I actually feel like I'm imposing because I'm one of the vendors for the October 22nd event.
Yep.
And I thought that this would be beneficial for me to gather information since I've never done it before.
We're getting through our monthly reports real quick, and then the bulk of the rest of our meeting, it will be devoted to BantuckyCon.
Okay, so I'm okay to be here.
Yes, ma'am, you certainly are. All of our meetings are always, visitors are always welcome. We always enjoy people asking questions. It gives us an opportunity to tell people more about our nonprofit organization and what we do. But yes, we will get to BantuckyCon. We just need to get through our monthly reporting that's legally required, and then we can talk about other stuff.
Nope.
Okay?
No problem. Sorry for interruption.
No problem. We are seeing an increase in the Merchants Guild, and that is also the Vendors Guild of Requiem. We have the marketing apprenticeship program is under development. Merchant Services is under redevelopment. We had to go with Requiem's Events of Texas because there is Requiem's events in San Bernardino, California, that is a management company. So they beat us on it, but we got to find resources. The project for that is going to be the Resources Apprenticeship and Management Program, where we can tell people to ramp it up. Yes, I had way too much fun with that. Customer service had 14 emails in which people had questions. We will be developing more for the Space Station Requiem's communications and operations. Space Station Requiem, we will be touching on that as soon as we're through these. Scholars Guild, everything's pretty much the same. I am looking for people to help provide content, course content for Space Station Requiem Academy, also known as Sarah.
Mhm.
And everybody, hopefully everybody saw that logo that came out just so beautiful. So what that basically is if you happen to be binge watching or you're watching some movies, jot down 10 questions and 10 answers, or 20 questions and 20 and the correct answer. And then we'll develop a course out of it. And that's just a fun way for people to challenge themselves on their knowledge in the different areas of science fiction. Vendors Apprentice Guild is open to new people who are looking to try to figure out, you know, what vending about. Technicians Guild is our quietest one, and as you can tell, everything is projects are on hold as we are having to do a lot of catch-up development with all of our other projects first, including website. I don't know if other people have noticed it or not, but our original plan was to be nonprofit by 2025. That gave me 3 years to finish our websites. So I'm trying to play catch up as quickly as I can. Requiem International is our unofficial guild. That's a guild. It's the home for all of our international projects. Matt is the vice president of Requiem International. Alex Carlos Ulysses is our US liaison, and Xavier Mapenga is our liaison in Kenya. It is the Requiem Kenya is one of our 2 that's still active. It is under redevelopment since we hit our nonprofit status that affects our funding to be able to assist them over there. We are going to be trying to create a partnership with IMFC, which is the International Mission for Christ. I think I got that right. It still will include networking, education, and our service, community service aspect. As of right now, Requiem Ghana, India, and China are on hold. Requiem Haven is in Iceland. That was Josu's project. His sons have reached out to me, and they have been sending in monthly reports. They do watch our videos when it's convenient for them, and they do go look at our PowerPoint and everything. So they decided that they were going to send a report in this month. They have purchased 2 additional warehouses of 50,000 square foot each. One of them will be a girls' dormitory, and the retail have their own retail space to sell everything that they produce from, plus be like a mini grocery store. The other one is going to be all basically they're moving all the agriculture into one of the warehouses, and then the boys' dorm is going to be in the other warehouse. They currently have 258 boys ranging from ages of 1 year to 18 years staying there. And for essentially what this is these are kind of considered the undesirables in the foster care system. Maybe they have anger issues, maybe they have developmental issues, they have mental issues that, you know, foster parents just don't want to deal with them. And what happens is, just like in the US, they age out of the system, except their age is 15. And it's, you know, since Josu has started this program, he has had 100% of the boys coming through there are going on to secondary education, or they are learning getting trade certifications and everything else. So I was very, very proud to hear from the boys on what's going on there.
Yeah.
Space Station Requiem. This is our one of our fun groups. This is we are not just about Star Trek, we're about all science fiction. I'm going to go through this real fast. Hey, we have nothing from the center seat because I've been busy with Guilds of Requiem. Mikey, I don't think has anything going on because she's gotten disconnected again. But yeah, she might, I don't know if she's having second thoughts or not, but Space Station Requiem has been kind of quiet. Jeff has been on a medical leave. Obviously, I'm on a medical leave. Mikey's been working full time. That's your entire communications. That's our entire command staff. That's first, second, and third. Rift Runners is on hold because it's just, we don't have enough people to make this happen. We've got 5 or 6 people doing everything, and burnout is beginning to be a real thing. They're kind of said that he said, you know, operations is the night watch. So I went ahead with that. Engineering and search and rescue. Engineering is our local, anybody who is local to the greater San Antonio area that is undecided on basically what they want to do or where they want to be in Space Station Requiem. Search and rescue is for everyone who is outside the greater San Antonio area. Space Station Requiem will never go away from Starfleet Command or any of the other organizations we're in, because currently 90% of our memberships are lifetime members. So when Rift Runners comes back up, engineering is going to be called Technical TAP. Search and rescue is non omes que errante, which is mean not all who wander. So some of you may understand that reference. Medical and sciences, this is our fundraising and charity organization departments. The medical sciences is going to be called First Do No Harm. Sciences is going to be Never Stop Questioning. Security and Marines. Security is sedition and anarchy. Okay. We do have 4 Marines on the chapter, and as you could tell, nobody could agree on a motto or what to call their thing. So we've got voting time. Are they 5 by 5? Are they oorah, 0 dark 30, or locked, cocked, and ready to rock? So I will put that poll up later on Space Station Requiem for anybody who wants to deal. Now we're getting to the meat of the matter. Steampunk Aerodome. That is the acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, Math, and more. This is one of our major departments that major programs that are directed at youth that BantuckyCon is supporting. That is basically our giant overview. We are a youth program. Specifically, we are looking at the fandoms that do not have their own youth programs and being a resource for them. Mikey is going to be out doing an outreach with Bandera ISD so that maybe we get some of their students and teachers and clubs involved in it. We are part of the International Space Station Space Explorers and Space Ambassador program. They will have their own courses in Space Station Requiem Academy, where they're going to be mostly a lot of is it fact or fiction type questions. Now we're to the meat of the matter, and I did it before 7:30, yay. BantuckyCon, October 22nd, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our theme this year is Cowboys and Aliens. We are encouraging all of our vendors and participants to come dressed up as either cowboys or aliens, and humanoids, you can be an alien and not from Earth, otherwise we ask that if they have their own particular brand of t-shirt that has their business name on it, by all means, self-promoting is awesome. I did give us our generic email address, generic website address, so that people can click on annual events, and that's where they will find BantuckyCon. As I go into update our main page, I will create a hot link over to that sub website. All applications are open. We do have a juried selection, and that is just to basically make sure that we don't end up with 20 vendors selling the Funko Pops. We don't end up with 20 vendors selling soap, which is something that is very prevalent in the pop-up farmers market convention industry, is that there's now a lot of soap dealers out there. Mikey and I are hunting for sponsors because we run on sponsors and volunteers to keep it open to basically keep it free for the community to come in, be entertained, look around, possibly shop. If they don't have to pay to get in, then they've got more money to buy something, to participate in an activity, donate to an organization that we're sponsoring or fundraising for at the event. Yeah, and I just reiterated that, it's open to all vendors. We are not going to be, well, I guess we are discriminatory on vendors. We're asking for no adult products. We do have a damsel in distress. It's basically women's self-protection. That is probably the most adult thing we're going to allow. I have already had to tell one person who wanted to bring their Magna comics out and hentai, comic
Oh,
books
no.
and hentai DVDs. And I said, this is a family-friendly event.
Is that all they sell?
I don't know if you all just heard Matt. He just asked if that's all they sell. Yes, that is all they sell. Direct sales and MLM affiliates are welcome at this event. We do ask that they at least try to help us be relatable to a convention or to the steampunk, the steam categories. The major activity that we are going to have is a steampunk scavenger hunt. And basically that's going to be the 5 activities that touch upon science, technology, engineering, arts and crafts, or math. They're also going to have some trivia questions to gain points. You know, I just kind of threw what some of them are going to be. The first one is going to be really easy, is what does STEAM stand for? It's going to be on a sign behind me when I ask that question. This is how they get their goodie bag. Vendors are welcome to put little freebies in there, little flyers in our goodie bags. Anybody who sponsors more than $200, we will put their logo on the back of the bag so that they're getting that extra advertisement and, you know, an extra way of saying thanks. Somebody brought up that maybe we could ask them trivia questions based on Bandera or Texas history and more.
Yep.
One of them is definitely going to be, is it science fiction or science fact? And I believe Sophie and her group, we're going to try to do that. Somebody said, you know, hey, let's name that movie. I don't know if you've seen out there where somebody has badly explained movies. And gosh, I can't remember. It was basically Nemo, Finding Nemo's the movie, but it was presented in such a way where you're just like, oh wow, that's kind of depressing if you hear it that way. So that's kind of going to be what it is. Either we're going to have a quote from the movie, we'll have the name of a character, or and for the littler kids, they're going to be easier ones, and they're going to be targeted at kids. Thought of doing like the Sphinx, where you have to answer questions to answer riddles to pass. And then I would like to make the very last activity to kind of be a who's that Pokemon. And we will have a board with the shadow of the Pokemon, and they'll be given, little cutouts, laminated Pokemon, and they've got to match them. And they only get one shot to put them all up there in less than a certain time. So once they're done, they come back to us, and we keep track of who has completed it the fastest, who has gotten the most points. So we're going to ask that the teams be 2 to 5 members. We're going to have 3 age categories. We have, I believe, up to age 11, 12, no, up to age 10, 11 to 17, and 18 and over. Any team that has kids does have to have at least 1 adult with them, because once again, we will not allow unattended minors at our events. Things are just too chaotic in our world for people to just use us as a babysitting service for the day.
Yeah.
What would that be, 12 and under? What's the age cutoff for
15.
15?
Yeah. Essentially, if they're old enough to drive themselves there, they're old enough to be there by themselves. But yeah, so the legal age to be able to drive in Texas is 16. So 15 and under, they need to have an adult with them. So this is kind of the workflow of how the scavenger hunt is going to be. Starting point, it's going to be that easy question that gets them a scorecard and goodie bags. Then they're going to go to a science challenge, and it's either all of our challenges need to be pass or fail. We prefer them to be something that can take home, and it gives a clue to the next trivia question. We are asking that these challenges be free. You can have add-on options that are at cost or slightly above cost or whatever, but our whole point is to have a fun, family-friendly learning event that also involves fandom and science fiction and everything else. So from there, they'll go to Bandera, they'll do the history Texas, then they'll go to technology, science fiction or science fact, arts and crafts. And this one I got really excited of when I hit it on is we're going to have pre-made slime. There's going to be popsicle sticks where you can't see the color. You know, they're stuck into something, so they can't see what color it is. They pull a random popsicle stick. It has a color on it. It tells them what they need to make those colors from the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, and white or black to make, you know, the lighter or darker colors, you know, to make like pink or maroon or whatever. Also includes the trivia clue to where to find the next trivia question. Why are these clues important? Our vendors, we're going to have volunteer vendors that are going to have the trivia questions. And so the scavenger hunt part comes like, I have a pet dog and that dog is never quiet. What product am I? Sir barks a lot. We'll be able to give them up to 3 clues, but each time we give them a clue, it costs them a point. So if they figure it out all on their own, they're like, oh, Sir barks a lot, got it. They're going to get 3 points. If you have to give them 1 clue, they get 2 points. If you have to give them 2 clues, they get 1 point. And if you need to just flat out tell them where they need to head, they don't get any points at all. The one that I'm kind of panicking about is the math challenge. I kind of laid one out on my timeline a little bit that maybe their math product, you know, simple math equations, you know, 5 + 3 equals, and then a question mark, and then we'll have a whiteboard in the back that's got the numbers written on them, the different answers, and then they get 3 water balloons to throw at it. I figured it'd be a nice physical activity to go with it. I mean, if somebody else comes up with something else, please let us know. Either email it to us, or if you're in the Requiem's events planning committee on Facebook, drop it in there. Because yeah, I've been killing myself over that challenge.
And I definitely have 24 reusable water balloons ready to go for that.
Awesome. That is fantastic. I'm thinking maybe we'll do boards for the different age categories. So that way the littles are going against the littles, the middles are going against the middles, and the adults are going against the adults.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea.
And when we get to the middles and the adults, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is going to be very prevalent in all of our questions. Because that, you know, people are like, well, I put it in the calculator and it gave this answer. Well, the calculator doesn't understand. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Not basic ones, scientific ones do though.
Well, no, you still have to program it in such a way that it recognizes what you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, you have to do the parentheses and stuff.
Yeah, where you know where we assume it's a parenthesis, or we assume that, you know, we've got 3 times 2 + 1. We assume that this is 3 times this. So yeah, now it'd be my old timeline that I don't have. Somewhere along the line, I put my response that I got from Texas Instruments on why the calculators were giving the wrong answer.
Yeah.
And their response basically was ID 10T error.
Yeah, some of those calculation riddles that you see on Facebook and stuff that don't have the parentheses or anything, you know, a lot of people just solve them left to right regardless of the operation.
Yep.
You put it into a scientific calculator, it'll do the multiplication and divisions first, then the addition and subtractions for you.
Yep, but it doesn't always understand the exponents.
Yeah. I'm talking about the basic ones that they do.
Yeah.
They show up on Facebook, but people go, well, I put it in my calculator and gave me this one. It's like, was it a scientific calculator, or was it one of those cheap, basic $5-10 calculators you get at the office store?
Yep. So that's basically where that's going to be. Once they get to the finish booth, they're gonna turn their scorecard in. We're gonna update our leaderboard, which means that we're gonna have to get, means we're gonna have to, you know, move the whiteboard on the stand there to use this event so that we can have a leaderboard. Scavenger hunt runs from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. After that, we are going to be hunting down, Mikey's going to be hunting down prizes, first, second, and third prizes for each group. I'm hoping our vendors will be happy to pitch in on that, our local businesses. There's going to be an overall grand prize champion, which is probably going to be like the biggest donation prize we get. But there's also going to be, you know, the winners for each age group. The time that they start the challenges and the time that they turn in their card, how long did that take them? So that's our fastest time. And then our second one is who got the most points in that group. I sat down and I figured it out that they can get 100 points. That's the most number of points that you can get going through this whole challenge is 100 points. So, you know, if we end up with a bunch of people, bunch of teams having 100 points, you know, then we need to have a consistent prize for them all, or, you know, maybe like a prize bin. You know, if they come in and they turn in their card and it has 100 points, immediately every team member gets to grab a prize from that prize bin.
Yeah.
So that was kind of how the thought process has gone with that. And I think that's my last, yes, that is my last slide. So like I said, I got through it really fast. I haven't been feeling good. Yeah, they're gonna keep an eye on me. Jennifer, did you have any specific questions that you had that we did not answer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I said, this is going to be my first time ever doing this, but I read everything about you guys and it just sounds like
We try to have fun.
yeah, you try to have fun, but at the same time you're also educating, and I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So
Our three main philosophies for the Guilds of Requiem is that we're here to network for small businesses and other nonprofits. You know, you saw that we have the 7 different guilds plus our international program. So each of those tries to network with people who are like-minded with them. We are always aiming to be educational. I don't think we've done a single event that we've coordinated that did not have an educational opportunity to it. You know, we're gonna be, yeah, we're gonna be. Oh yes, Laura, by all means, you know, give us some ideas if you have any ideas on how to do math challenges, so that it's consistent with the 3 groups, age groups. Yeah, I mean, just you know, the whole point is we try to get them to have 10 points, whatever it is the math challenge is. We need to get it so that they can have the possibility of earning 10 points. My mind just went completely blank. Oh, and our third component is community service. Because we rely heavily on volunteers and sponsors. That means we can be free to the community. That you know, when my kids were younger, that was the biggest obstacle for us going anywhere. You know, is that we had 2 adults and 2 kids. You know, sometimes just to get into a convention, that was $150 for one day.
Yeah.
You know, to get into these learning, you know, we would try to go to like these expos and stuff. Even the home and gardens expo, we were spending $50 just to get in there. You know, to have stuff sold to us, we're going to want to spend more money, but to also learn. You know, there was a couple of times that I went to health fairs, and you had to pay $20 a person to get in. I'm like, it's a health fair. It's a community service. Why am I having to pay to go in for people wanting to sell me their stuff? Hi, kitty. No, no, sir.
Oops.
Like, oh, I saw a cat. Oh, there was a cat on the screen.
Yep.
Oh, both of them are looking at me. Oh, like, did not say that to a kitty, Mom. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of our whole philosophy, and we want our vendors to have fun, and our event coordinators and anybody who's involved. If you're dreading doing something, then we're not doing something right. You know, yeah, there are some daily tasks, and when we get to the point where we can pay people, guess who's going to get paid? The ones who have to do the tasks, that daily tasks that nobody else wants to do because they're boring, but they have to be done. But yeah, we try to encourage our vendors to participate and to have as much fun as they can with it. We encourage people to dress up and get involved, and everything else. Do you guys have any questions? Laura, do you have any other questions? I'm not sure who Galaxy S9 is, but we're glad that you could join us this evening.
Yeah, that's what my name is going to be on the roster of who visited is Galaxy S9.
You know, we do have a group on Facebook. It's Requiem's Events Planning Committee. Everybody is welcome to join that. Mikey, if you want to make yourself a note to promote that out tomorrow, or later this evening or whatever, you know, if you're those who are wanting to be involved with our planning and the coordinating of events,
Okay.
Feel free to join this group. It does have questions that we ask, because if somebody answers okay, they're a bot. None of our questions are designed for yes, no, or okay. There's always going to be at least one to all three questions that require you to actually type something in, and so we know you are a real person. That's one of our cybersecurity features that we do, which is really handy with the World Supergroup. We're about to bust 2,500 people in there. So, but that is everything that I have got for this evening. We will, I need to make a page on the main website for monthly reporting. And then we'll put our PowerPoints in there, and we'll put the links to YouTube videos once they're uploaded.
Okay.
All right. If there's no questions, I thank everybody for showing up and joining our quick, crazy little session. We do have meetings on the 4th Saturday of every month. And you know, even when we don't have BentuckyCon, we've already started planning for Ren Fair of 2023 with doing the 3rd Saturday markets at the Palmarosa. We're trying to make them mini events. September is going to be a fall homesteaders bazaar, and right now I'm going to be processing chickens or ducks, so there'll be an anatomy lesson involved with that. One of the vendors, who is also a soap maker, she has, oh yes, by all means, we would love to have you guys. You know, we love cosplayers, anything to add fun and flair to the event. If you guys are, you know, if you guys want to give a panel, let me see if I've got, no, give me a second here. Let me see if I have got I posted a tentative map. So give me just a second here. Why did that go to Netflix? Somebody moved my icons. It was probably me in the middle of the night, so I'm somebody. Hey, that's the best thing about having brain fog, is I'll get mad at somebody and it's like, oh yeah, wait a second, I did that. Never mind. Let's see here. Give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen again so y'all can see my craziness. I promised I got rid of all my questionable icons. Oh yeah, I had one command crap
Oh, yeah.
and shit I have to keep. So pardon the terminology, but those were 2 icons that were on my desktop for a long time.
everybody.
Yep. So the event is called Requiem Events Planning Committee. If you see up here, it's a group's Gore Event Planning is the actual URL. Come on, where's my map? Oh, look, I'm having a chat with Mikey. Give me a second here.
See, I have proof. I was asking who is Galaxy S9.
Yep. Okay. Come here. There's the recent media. So I dropped this in there last night. And kind of what the thought is this is the entrance gate coming into the Pomerosa. You've just turned off of Highway 16 and you're going into the Pomerosa. Once again, we're going to ask our vendors to please unload their vehicle and then move their vehicle back out here for parking. It's just a safety issue. We'll still have our first aid tent and Mother's Den right there. I'm hoping Sal and his wife are going to be able to join us, and they will be right next to us to help with some other little projects that happen in that area. Captain Jack is going to be up here underneath the trees in the RV. Tribal Hall is over here by RV Site 1. Those are our belly dancers. They will be returning. I'm waiting to hear back from Sophie. Her and her group have made fan fiction movies. So they're wanting to use the carport. So of course, obviously it's going to protect their equipment. They don't want a tent blowing away that's going to, also take off with their equipment. They're very expensive equipment. I think Sarah is going to be set up and doing photography with Captain Jack. Once Upon a Ferry, is that the name of that group, Mikey?
It's Once Upon a Story, I think.
Once Upon a Story, yeah. So we're either going to have them over here by Sophie, or we're going to have them over here. That way they're under shade. Everybody's under shaded areas to do their thing. When you first come in, on the left-hand side is going to be Guilds of Requiem. And then we're just going to go horseshoe manner all the way around with our vendors. These circles right here in the center, these are going to be where activities are happening. I would be absolutely thrilled if some events company would loan us some large canopies for the weekend. That would just really make my day. If we hear back from MUFON, they're going to be over here by Captain Jack. All of our sponsors that want a booth do have the option of a 10x10 booth space, and they're going to all be we're going to horseshoe them over here. We're going to try to keep this area open and this area so that people can see what's going on. Our food court, essentially, if you sell food, you're going to be up in the food court this time. That was kind of one of the complaints that we had gotten from feedback, not really complaint, but feedback from Ren Fair, is that it was difficult for them to find people who sold the food. And we're sitting there going, they're all up there where follow sign says food court. But they were seeing people down in the main area selling food under the food cottage laws, and they're like, where's the food trucks? They didn't go beyond. They didn't go up the hill or go beyond the office to see that that's where our food court is. So we're going to make that very prevalent and known at this event. And here I am sitting at my computer, pointing at my computer screen again. Mikey knows darn well what I'm doing. I talk with my hands, but if they sell food, they're going to be up here. If they do not need to plug in, then it's just going to be our standard vending rate. If they need to plug in, or if they plug into electricity, they will need to pay the higher rate, because that was the feedback we got from BB, is that costed her a lot. There was people using electricity, and she, we weren't paying her. She didn't get paid enough for it. So if anybody plugs into electricity this time, it either needs to be a contractual agreement for an activity, or they need to be paying for the electricity. Just plain and simple. We are not encouraging any overnight camping. That was the other complaint that she dealt with Ren Fair is some vendors decided to stay overnight and they did not pay for a camping space. They used electricity the entire weekend. And they didn't pay for it until we, it was brought to our attention on Sunday that these people had been there since Friday morning and they were plugged into electricity. So yeah, we're at 8 o'clock on Friday night. If you're not a resident and you can't prove to us that you've paid to camp overnight, we're going to ask you to leave. Same thing with Saturday night. We understand if you've got a lot of stuff that needs to be broken, that's going to take a while to break down. That's fine. You can come back on Sunday. But at 8 o'clock, when that gate closes, if you are not a resident and you are not a paid camper for that weekend, for that night, we're going to ask you to leave. And Mikey, Chris, BB, and myself, and I think Matt was kind of in on the conversation. Violating those rules, we're going to put them on the banned vendors list. Because that hurts our relationship with the venue. So we, people may think that we're being about it, but this isn't our property that we're on.
Yeah.
We are renting this property from somebody. And while we may be nonprofit, we can still make money to pay our expenses and everything. We're renting from a business whose sole purpose is to turn a profit. So if things are happening that's cutting into their profit, they're going to put it back on us. And this is just any venue. This is, I coordinated my first wedding back in 1993. This is just a gold standard. If you are doing something consistently that eats into a venue's profits, they are not going to want to book with you. So that is, that's what we're looking at, is maintaining our customer relationship. I think I've hit everything, other than the fact that the bathrooms are still hiding way up there. We will have to see if our budget allows for it, to possibly rent some porta potties. Not quite sure where I want to put them, because we certainly don't want the smell to be disrupting vendors. We don't want them up at the food court. Maybe if this spot down here doesn't get rented, maybe we can put them under the trees over here.
No, I think that would be the best place. Maybe not even rent that spot out.
Well, right now we have it earmarked for somebody who's doing an activity, a fundraising activity.
Okay, that'd probably be all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry, my
Go ahead.
recommendation would be, if it's something that we would want to do outside the gate.
We can't.
We cannot. That is state
Okay.
property.
Okay.
We cannot have anything on state property that is there 24 hours.
Gotcha.
That's why our sign for Ren Fair was put up next to our vehicle, and we had temporary signs and flags that we could put out on the highway or closer to the highway, but kind of where that road is in front of BB's, the frontage road.
Yeah.
We cannot put anything on the other side of that frontage road at all.
Gotcha.
We cannot have anybody set up on that frontage area, period.
Gotcha. Okay.
We found that out when we had our market up front. We had a vendor come in with a hot dog cart, and she set up on the outside, and state of Texas comes by and says, you can't park
Nope.
there. You are conducting business on state property. Sorry, you got to pack it up and leave.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I've got, Mikey, you've seen the flyers. I've got a bunch printed out here.
Okay.
I've got green paper. It's gonna be a little bit before we get together.
I know.
I might send him in with Matt, and he can, stop and drop, put him on the ground, say, hi, there you go, bye.
Stop, drop, and throw.
Yeah, make paper airplanes out of them.
There you go. Make those
Oh.
little butterflies that I want to do.
Yeah,
That'd be funny. I think that's definitely one of the art projects that I would like to do is the little butterfly thing.
mhm.
I don't know if I shared it or not. I thought I did, but I'm not sure. Where they take paper clips and the rubber bands and you can twirl it and it
Yeah, flies.
Yeah.
Fly.
I
There's
think
one.
would be
There's
fun.
one that we put in there that was kind of like you're launching airplanes,
Yeah. Yeah.
paper airplanes, and it uses a rubber, basically a rubber band, and it's an airplane inside of a launcher, and they do this, and it launches it.
Yeah. And it goes.
Yeah, I kind of want to do elephant toothpaste,
That would be fun, but that'd be messy.
but I looked up at how much 20% hydrogen peroxide costs. We're not
Yeah.
going to do elephant toothpaste. Maybe if we're somewhere near water that we can rinse the area down, maybe one of our science activities could be Mentos and Coke. And we can kind of keep it small in that we'll use generic cans of cola and solo cups and only just a couple of Mentos.
Yeah.
And that was one of the science experiments that my oldest boy did, was which soda drink gave the most volume. So we could, put little lines on it, and, you fill it fresh, you drop the, we have a little tray that dumps the Mentos in all at the same time. And, they have to guess which one is going to have the biggest reaction. And that works really great if you're using a cola, Sprite or 7-Up, a clear drink.
Right.
So I think we had ginger ale or club soda is what we used. An orange cola, an orange soda, and a red soda. I think there's even blue soda out there now.
Yeah. Big blue.
Yeah. And there's generic. I mean, the only thing that I'd kind of worry about using 2 or 3 liter bottles, yes, it's not going to cost as much, but it's going to go flat during the day. With the constantly opening and closing it, it's going to go flat. And the carbonation is a part of the reaction process.
Right. And sorry if you guys hear any weird noises coming out from behind me. My son is having a D&D game tonight.
Okay, I'm
And
used
it's
to
the
weird
one-
noises.
It's the one where he's actually playing his character, so
He gets a little excited.
Yeah. Scared me earlier.
Technology challenge. I'm drawing a blank on what we can do for that. I think I have that in the PowerPoint that we need to try to figure out something that's technology. Engineering would be like a popsicle bridge or a toothpick bridge.
So technology could be the potato light, right?
Yeah, potato lights, electromagnetic fields where they have to make something hover with using batteries.
Yeah, like
I
that
think
one.
we tried doing that one time where it was we did the copper wire and basically made the battery go around and around and around and around and around. It was quite fun. It was challenging to get set up, but man, once we got it working, my students were like, yes, we like science.
That's cool. Wow.
Engineering, that could be the paper airplane, that could be building something. The arts and crafts, I really like the idea of them having to see how colors mix, because that's definitely an art thing. Trying to think what other activities. I mean, if a vendor comes to us and says, I'd like to offer an activity, I'm willing to forego, basically rent them their space at cost.
Okay.
So if they come in and they're getting a 10 by 10 for $50 and they want a space to hold an activity, then yeah, we'll expand them out to a 10 by 20 and it'll still be $50.
Okay.
And that's our way of thanking them. If they're doing activities where there's a take home or a cost, We want to try to keep it as inexpensive as possible. Yeah, that's my only concern is if they can offer it for free, perfect. If they have to charge something to at least cover their cost of material, then they need to basically justify that. Did he just say the squirrel's on fire?
The horses were on fire.
What?
The
Oh.
horses are on fire. Okay, I need to
Hey,
take.
Robin.
Yeah,
Candle for your healing.
thank you, appreciate it.
Awesome.
I'm ready to take my nighttime meds and crawl into bed, and well, I'm already in bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna take my nighttime meds and examine the inside of my eyelids for cracks. Like I said, right now my symptoms have actually been really mild.
Yeah.
It kind of surprised me
Really?
when they called me today and said, "Hey, we got your COVID results back. You're positive." I'm like,
Mhm.
So did they say all 3 of them were positive?
"Yep." Every single visit, I'm dealing with because of all my medications and therapies and everything, it is being really, really hard on my kidneys,
Right.
and my blood oxygen has been low, and of course it's summer, so I'm always dehydrated, and so
Yeah.
each time I was going in, I was coughing, my blood oxygen was low, my nose was running, I'm like, I've got allergies and I've got asthma. But they said, no, we got to tickle your nose, man. And I'm just like,
Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law came up positive recently also. But they're pretty sure they know where they got it from, or where he picked it up probably from the doctor's office. One of the last times he went for an appointment and brought it home.
that's the only
So,
thing we can think of is at one of my doctor's appointments, I got exposed to it. Or, we go grocery shopping after my appointments if I feel up to it. So I could have gotten exposed to it there.
yeah.
Yeah, who knows where I got exposed to it. It could have been when Andy was coming over on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And with Rue, she had a tickle in her throat on Monday and was in ICU by Friday.
Yeah. It's rough.
So yeah, I'll find out tomorrow which doctor I've got to go see, if they even want me to come in, or if it's just going to be a matter of monitoring myself at home and
Gotcha.
seeking emergency medical help if I start to have issues.
Yeah.
I already know Dr. Arkhipov, Mikey, on the 2nd when we go in and get my labs done. He's been pretty consistent about sending me to the ER that's next door.
Okay.
Especially if my blood oxygen is low.
Okay.
He doesn't like anything below 95. And so he'll send me over for an x-ray and a breathing treatment and fluids.
Okay. No worries. I got your back, girlfriend.
Yep, but I'm gonna let everybody go. I'm gonna sign out. Maybe we'll, huh? Oh, Heather's.
I was gonna say he wouldn't like me because according to my watch, my blood oxygen ranges anywhere from 85 to 99 throughout the day.
I was
because of
feeling
allergies.
when we went on Monday. I had my follow-up from getting my port put in.
Yeah.
And while I was there, my blood pressure was really low. My blood oxygen was really low.
Yeah.
And I had a migraine. And he comes in, he says, "Port looks great. You need to go to the ER." What?
Yeah.
He says, "You need to go to the ER." He said, "Or I can call an ambulance for you." And Christopher's like, "Nope, I'll take her." So yeah, I have a kidney infection happening.
Not fun.
Yeah, and it's from all the medications. Yeah, that's pretty much what it amounts to. Is my immune system is broken, and
Yeah.
it's attacking the wrong things.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna say goodbye. Good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Mikey,
everybody.
you might
Take care.
wanna-
Rest.
Yep. You